place on Saturday night. Now, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but I sound like shit because I'm sick right now on this Tuesday morning. But I said, you know what? I'm going to get up. I'm going to go in and do my thing for the audience, for my fans, and the supporters of the Ham Rothstein Show. Now, Manny Pacquiao won a split decision versus Keith one-time Thurman. It was a very competitive fight, a very compelling fight. It started out action-packed, and I'm kind of surprised because listening to Keith Thurman leading up to the fight, I was like, why is this dude telling his strategy? Because I never hear boxers come in before a fight and say, hey, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And, you know, every interview I watched leading up to the fight against Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman said he was going to test the old man. He was going to bring him straight to the old man. He wasn't going to box the old man, but if need be, he would adjust on the fly and do whatever it takes to get the win. Keith Thurman also said he was going to retire the old 40-year-old man in Manny Pacquiao. And, you know, he had T-Rex arms and he wasn't going to be able to get to him. He wasn't going to be able to get on the inside to hit him with that looping left hook that Manny Pacquiao loves to throw. You know, he said a lot of things. But once he got in that ring, it was a totally different outcome from the shit that he was saying beforehand. Because Manny Pacquiao, not only did he dominate Keith Thurman, he outworked him. I mean, would you believe me if I were to tell you that an older guy at the age of 40 outworked a younger guy? Both are champions. Both are great in their own right. But Manny Pacquiao, man, what can I say? The legend continues for Manny fucking Pacquiao. I mean, the guy's just amazing, man. You know, the man, he started out the first round. He knocked Keith Thurman down with a jab. Of all punches, you get knocked down by Keith one-time Thurman. You got knocked down by a fucking jab. Now, granted, it did look like he was a little bit off balance because Manny Pacquiao was swarming. He was coming at him. He was giving him different angles, in and out, left and right, forward and backwards, throwing uppercuts. He was letting his hands go in true Manny Pacquiao fashion. And I loved it. I feel like as fans, we got our money's worth. And to be honest with you all, I would not mind seeing a rematch. But for people to come out and say that, you know, it was a split decision, Keith Thurman wasn't really in the fight, it was an outcry, it was a robbery for it to be a split decision, I disagree because although I do feel like Manny Pacquiao controlled the fight for the majority of the fight, I put it to you this way. I saw the first 5 rounds going to Manny Pacquiao, and then from round 6 to 10, I think Keith Thurman stepped on the gas. He started trying to take the fight to Manny Pacquiao once he got settled down. I also feel like he went to Manny Pacquiao's body. Manny Pacquiao went to his body. But the stat that bogged my mind the most, and I'm trying to comprehend and wrap my brain around, is the fact that the shorter guy landed more jabs than the taller fighter. I don't understand it. Manny Pacquiao managed to land 82 jabs to Keith Thurman's 18. Manny Pacquiao landed 113 power punches, body included. Keith Thurman landed 192. Okay, so that was at 43% compared to Pacquiao's 33%. But Pacquiao landed 23% more of his jabs, and Keith Thurman landed 14.1%. Total punches count looks like Manny landed 195, and Keith Thurman landed 210. So the fight was a lot closer than a lot of people are leading the fans on to believe, in my opinion. And I would not be opposed to a rematch. Now, there was a lot said after the fight, of course, because this guy, he has never met a microphone or a camera he does not fall in love with. You know who I'm talking about. Adrien The Problem Broner. He had a lot to say in the immediate aftermath after what took place between Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman on Saturday night. Now, if you don't know this, but Manny Pacquiao fought Adrien Broner before he fought Keith one-time Thurman. And Adrien Broner didn't look too hot in that fight. But listen to what Adrien Broner had to say on FightHype.com. Check this shit out. Play it.
Did Manny look different to you in there? Or you look like the same guy you faced?
You said what?
Did Manny look different in there tonight, or did he look like the same guy you faced?
He was the same guy. It was just he wasn't in with a guy like me. He told y'all the whole camp when he was getting prepared. He's not Adrien Broner. Damn. He told y'all. He kept telling y'all that that was the move. I'm not AB. We see.
Do you think the judges maybe didn't give you enough credit for your defense, slipping punches and stuff like that?
Man, it was that. It was the crowd. He threw 10 punches. He missed 10 punches. Man.
How were you able to neutralize his movement?
Huh?
What did you do to neutralize his movement?
The way I fight southpaws, man, they really can't get shit on me. The way I fight.
Hindsight, now that you've lost that fight, what do you think you should have done?
You thought you won, so.
Like a motherfucker. But I've watched the fight a couple of times, or a lot of times, and I could have done a lot. It was just, I'm gonna tell you what it was. It was what I wasn't doing.
I think if you had 25 more punches, you win.
It wasn't nothing that he was doing. It's just what I wasn't doing.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, that was Adrien The Problem Broner talking about his fight against Manny Pacquiao that took place last year. Let me just say this. He just mentioned the fact that what he did not do was the reason why he lost. But haven't you guys noticed this every time you listen to Adrien Broner, whether it's before his fights or at the pressers or the post fights? He never gives a guy credit for when they go in there and kick his ass. It's always, oh, if I would have let my hands go. Oh, if I would have been in shape. Oh, if I would have had a better trainer. He always deflects the blame on somebody else other than himself. And then he went on to say later on in this interview with FightHype.com that he seen Keith Thurman up 2 nights in a row, late at night, before the fight at the MGM Grand, gambling with him. And he cussed him out and he called his camp, and everybody that was with him, bitch ass niggas, is saying you need to be more focused. But how ironic is that? Because what is the ultimate criticism of an Adrien The Problem Broner that everyone, including myself, has labeled of him for years? He is not focused. He does not take the sport of boxing seriously. He has too many things going on outside of the ring, whether that's getting arrested or hitting women or dropping pornos and mixtapes and whatever the case may be, okay? The man is ultra talented. Don't get me wrong. But he is the type of individual and boxer that wants all the fame but don't want to put in the work to get it. He wants all the money. He wants the Floyd Mayweather lifestyle. He would love to have it, love it. But what he fails to realize, and a lot of these other young boxers fail to realize, is this. Floyd put in the work. You don't have to tell Floyd to get up and train. He's going to train at 3 a.m. He's going to run 5 to 10 miles at night. He can be sitting on 300 million and he'll go work his ass off as if he does not have $1. That's what makes Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, so special to me. It's not what he does inside of the ring. It's what he does leading up to the fight, the big time matchups outside of the ring, in the training camp, logging in those long hours, being set financially, to be able to take care of his kids, and still somehow, some way coming out and figuring out a way to stay in tip-top shape. Floyd is 41, about to turn 42, and would you believe this man looks like he's still in better shape than some of the current fighters? I don't get it. How these guys like Adrien Broner and Earl Spence Jr., just to name a short few, and Gervonta Tank Davis, these guys are world-class athletes. But after they fight, have you noticed that these dudes tend to blow up, 30 to 40 pounds? And to me, that's not wise, and I will never forget this, man. If y'all want to go back and to fact check me, go back to YouTube, type in Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez 24/7. And I will never forget this moment. And this is how I knew Adrien Broner was not the next Floyd Mayweather that they was trying to make him out to be. This man showed up, fresh off a tour with Lil Wayne and T.I. He showed up with a beer belly into Floyd Mayweather's locker room. And Floyd looked at the dude in such disgust, in such disbelief, as if to say, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Or better yet, what fucking happened? You're supposed to be in shape year round. You know, it's cool to eat a burger or a steak or two from here on out. Hell, Floyd says it himself. His favorite food is pizza. But Floyd is ultra disciplined. And speaking of Floyd Mayweather, man, do I think the fight between him and Manny Pacquiao is going to happen again? Maybe. If the money is right, I feel like Floyd would take on the fight. But Floyd has been out of the ring since what? His last real fight was against Adrien Broner. Because I'm not counting the Conor McGregor fight, and I'm not counting the Uber driver that he beat up in Japan. I'm not counting that shit. You know, because I feel like Floyd would have fought Manny Pacquiao totally differently than when he fought Conor McGregor. You know, he's not going to try to press Manny Pacquiao out. He's going to use angles, he's going to use his speed, and he's going to use his ring generalship and boxing IQ to outland and outpunch Manny Pacquiao and to neutralize his punching output. Because I feel like that's the only thing Keith Thurman did wrong. I feel like Keith Thurman should have boxed him more. He should not have went toe-to-toe with Manny Pacquiao. Now, granted, Manny Pacquiao did look like he lost some steam towards the later stages of the rounds, you know. But at the same time, Manny Pacquiao stole, I think, the 11th round and the 12th, and that's what ultimately won him the fight. I had it 7 rounds to 5. Of course, the first round was 10-8. So, off top, Manny Pacquiao was going to win. But for people to say that the fight wasn't close or they don't want to see a rematch, that is asinine to me. And Ham Rothstein isn't buying it. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about on today's episode is Ezekiel Elliott is expected to hold out from camp until he reaches a new deal or some sort of agreement with Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, let me just say this as I take my glasses off. I'm a big-time Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm a diehard fan. I don't like this, man. I don't like what's going on. I see this taking a turn for the worse. I understand it because the offense is predicated on the running game and the offensive line and Ezekiel Elliott being able to do Ezekiel Elliott things. We all know that Dak Prescott needs a running game, but we also know that this is a quarterback-driven league. And if you can have the best running back in the motherfucking world, along with the best offensive line in the world, but if you don't have a quarterback that can put the ball in the air or that can put the ball in spots to where his receivers can make plays and extend plays down the field with his legs, a la Aaron Rodgers, or beat the defense inside of the pocket, a la Tom Brady, then a running back don't mean shit. Okay? And I'm just looking at it, man. How much is Ezekiel Elliott worth to the Dallas Cowboys nation? Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Dallas Cowboys nation, but this man gets into a lot of trouble outside of those grid lines, okay? You know, and I'm just thinking of it like, man, how much do you really want to invest in Ezekiel Elliott? Now, sure, we could franchise tag him. We can keep trying to tag him. But what is that going to lead to? Could be another Le'Veon Bell situation all over again. So if you're Jerry Jones, I guess you got to look at this like what? Is Ezekiel Elliott worth the trouble and the stress? Is his performance on the field worth the bullshit off the field? And if you can say yes to that, then I agree. You have to give this man his money right now. Now, me, I'm not so sure about that. I love Ezekiel Elliott. He is my favorite player on the Dallas Cowboys franchise and the organization. You know, he's exciting to watch. He doesn't shy away from any contact. He can block. He can pick up blitzes or whatnot. You know, he can catch out of the backfield. And he is a big play away from changing any game at any moment at any time. I get all of that. But, man, I got to look at what's in the market for him. If I can get some first-round picks, a couple of third-round picks for him, I would highly suggest or consider, you know, moving Ezekiel Elliott, because it's only a matter of a time before this man gets suspended yet again. Because I'm honestly shocked the nigga did not get suspended for what just took place in Vegas a couple of months ago. I know you've seen it. On TMZ, looks like he was a bit inebriated. He was having an argument with a girl or a young lady. One thing led to another. He ended up pushing down a security guard. Now, that's just not smart because you just served like 6 to 8 games prior to this. Use your fucking head, Zeke. Okay? This is not the move, and this is not the way to do this, especially if you're trying to get some more fucking money. You're trying to get to the bag. And I don't know if you know this or not, but you cannot get to the bag if you're steady in the commissioner, Roger Goodell's office in timeout. Okay? So I hope things work out for the best. I pray that Zeke has learned his lesson on and off the field. And I hope the Dallas Cowboys have a pretty good season, man. But this is weighing heavy on my heart and on the Dallas Cowboy Nation heart because something has to be done because we got to pay Dak. You got to pay Zeke. You're going to have to pay Amari Cooper. I'm pretty sure somebody on that offensive line is going to garner some more money. And then not to mention the defense, who is young and improved and ready to make moves out here on the field. And I'm looking at the Dallas Cowboys as one of the NFC favorites. Now, I'm going to talk about that on another show, NFL edition. But as far as everything about that, man, that's where I stand when it comes to Ezekiel Elliott. But back to boxing. I've always said this, and I always felt like this. I feel like the sport of boxing needs a Dana White. You know, because Dana White, say what you want about him, say what you want about the UFC, which I'm not really a big fan of, but fans of the UFC, you know, the hardcore dudes that order it every fucking weekend to come on, UFC 228, and, you know, the list goes on and on. They get the fights they want to see when they want to see them. And too many times in boxing, man, I feel like they play the game of, oh, I'm going to hide behind my manager or promoter. You know, you got some fighters that's with Al Heyman, the Earl Spence Jr.'s of the world, the Sean Porters, Manny Pacquiao is now with Al Heyman, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia. You know, all the top welterweights are with Al Heyman. And then on the other side, you got one of the best welterweights / pound for pound fighters in the world in Terrence Bud Crawford on the other side with Bob Arum. And we know that that is going to be an issue with trying to make a fight between the two because it took 5 to 6 years before the Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fight to materialize, to get signed, to get done because it's so many egos involved. Who is the A side? Who is the B side? I want a 50-50 split. No, motherfucker. I want a 65 to 35 split. You know, it's a lot going on with the different networks and ESPN and Showtime and whatnot. But man, this is why I say they need a commissioner or somebody like a Dana White to come in and clean this shit up. You know, okay, so let's just say, for example, you want Al Heyman to be that for a year. Then let Al Heyman be that. If you want to let Bob Arum be that for the next year or the next 6 months, let him do that. But let's find a way to get these guys in the ring while they're still in their primes. Because I tell you what, you know, I know everybody trying to follow the mode and, you know, the shit, the blueprint that Floyd Mayweather, you know, laid out before them as far as being your own boss and going to Al Heyman. And I get that. But this is what I say to that. There is no fucking way we should have to wait 3 to 4 years before Errol Spence takes on Terrence Bud Crawford. There's no fucking way because I'm one of those, I might be in a minority with this, but I'm a firm believer in giving the people what they want while it's hot. Okay, you don't have to wait 4 to 5 years for this shit to make $300 million because if the people want to see the fight now, then think about it. They're willing to pay whatever for it right fucking now. So why wait? I don't want this to be a situation to where, oh, well, you know, Terrence Crawford was older and Errol Spence, he was too big. He was dehydrated. I don't want to hear none of that. I want these dudes at their weights right now, both in their primes, to get in the fucking ring and mix it up. And let's see who is the best boxer in the fucking welterweight division. The same can be said about the lightweight division because you got a lot of people that saying Tank is running from Lomachenko. You know, Mayweather Promotions is taking a route in the approach that Floyd Mayweather took with Gervonta Tank Davis, okay? And Lomachenko, who is with Bob Arum, you know, he has this thing going on too. So it's going to be hard to cross their street as well. So I just pray to God, man, that something happens, man. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the new edition of the Ham Rothstein Show. And please like, sub to the channel, to my YouTube at Ham Rothstein, my IG at Ham Rothstein. Spreaker.com. Just type in the Ham Rothstein Show. Should pull up for you. But yeah, once again, I'm blessed. I'm trying to feel better, man. I sound like shit right now, but I just had to get this out there for the fans and for the audience, man. And I'll be back on later this week with some more shit for y'all. Be blessed. Enjoy your Tuesday. I'll holla.